Hey VC, Midge here, a guy in a hat who's trying to fight off a flu virus to talk about records. I know, man, these last couple of weeks have been not very pleasant at all. Totally knocked out with this flu virus thing I've had. Knocked me for six. I've got a weakened immune system anyway, so fighting these things off are hard anyway. But I've been so poorly. It's been annoying because I wanted to make quite a few videos, and it's just not happening. My voice is starting to come back now, so that's something. But I still feel a bit woozy headed and all that stuff. But yeah. Enough whinging anyway. I really wanted to make this video because it's a bit of a landmark, really. This week marks 1 year in the vinyl community for me, so I'm really chuffed. So I've spent a year making videos, which is something that I wouldn't have expected when I started. And yeah, it's pretty cool, and so many cool things have happened since I've started doing this thing. That I could never have envisaged at the time. When I started doing it, it was simply because, well, to be honest with you, story time. I had an accident the September before I started making videos. I was doing a bit of DIY as per normal when you have an accident, as all these ambulance programs prove. And I was up a ladder. I was pruning this tree down, and the ladder slipped, and I fell off the ladder. The ladder spun round, I fell off, and I broke both my arms at the same time. And if you've ever done that, you can imagine the world of pain that you're in, and also the fact that for months afterwards, you can't actually do anything. So I have my wife to thank for doing things, going beyond the call of duty and going to places that she should never go to, quite literally in some areas. And yeah, and for some bizarre reason, all that time I was recuperating. I was watching VC videos and things like that. And, you sort of get that feeling, don't you? And I'm thinking, I broke both my arms, fair enough. I had to have a couple of operations. Look at that scar. Yeah, I tell people that's a shark attack, but when they say that Sheffield's nowhere near water, they tend to lose a bit of interest and walk off. But it's worth it for the story. But yeah, so I thought to myself, it was a very bad break. I had to have a few operations. At one point, they were saying that it'd be very difficult for me to use my fingers again. So I was very lucky in some respects. Obviously, my wrist is very weak and I can't use it in the same way as I used to do. But aside from that, all good. Although I do have a fear of ladders now. And I wasn't, I was fairly high up, but not particularly you'd have thought that would cause all that damage. So be careful up ladders, honestly. Be careful. And yeah, to get back to the point, I thought to myself that accident could have been a lot more serious. I just missed our small wall that we had at the front, so I could have smashed my head or anything. So I thought to myself, you've always wanted to do these videos, just do them. You don't know what's around the corner. And I think that proved it to me, just if you want to do something, just go and do it. Seriously, just do it. You never know what's around the corner. This is cheery, isn't it? Anyway, so I started making videos, and it was like a New Year's resolution in a way. And I have to give credit, and I've said this before, to anybody who makes a video on YouTube, because this shit isn't easy. And I found that, well, I don't find it easy. Found that out very quickly. It's very difficult talking to a camera. You're not half as articulate as you think you are. It does take quite a bit of practice. And I still got immense respect for anybody who does this because, it's not easy. And I'd looked at I looked at my first couple of videos again when I knew I was thinking of making this video. And I thought, oh, this is, I'll look back and they'll be really bad. They'll be cringingly terrible. But to be honest with you, they weren't, and that suggests to me that I've not actually got any better at doing this. Yeah, because I didn't really see that a great deal of difference. But the fact that you're watching and that you've stuck with it, there must be something there. So yeah, I won't say it's a massive improvement, but yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here making videos, and I'm going to be reading out a list of people you've got to blame for that soon. So yeah, 1 year in the VC. Lots of cool things have happened. I went on my first vinyl community meetup recently. You've seen the video, or hopefully you have. I won the Vinyl Voyage quiz. Come on, I haven't gone on about it that much, but that was a cool time. So yeah, you know, a year ago, these things would have been unthinkable, really. I just watched VC videos. I wasn't actually a part of it. So the fact that, you know, that these things have happened is really cool, still mind blowing to me. And I'd just like to give a big thanks, especially to Rob Walker at Letting the Music Play, because if it wasn't for him and his encouragement in the early couple of videos, I would have stopped because I just thought I was so bad at doing it. I couldn't get it, couldn't get the hang of it. And to me, when I watched the videos back, they were cringingly awful. But he gave me the encouragement to keep going. So cheers, Rob. Much appreciated. And if you want to blame anybody for the fact I'm still here, it's him you need to blame. But also, I'd like to give a shout out to a few other channels who gave me some encouragement at the right time early on. Ed on my turntable 7036, Dave at M Fidelity, Jack at the Vinyl Voyage, Gavax Band Spins, James Griffiths, Mike Vinyl Spiral, and there's loads of other names, but them specifically gave me a lot of encouragement at the right time. So thank you very much for that. And while we're on the subject, thank you to everybody I've interacted with, everybody who's watched a video, everyone who's made a comment, and everyone who's subscribed, because that is mind-blowing. You know, the fact that there's so much choice out there, isn't there? There's so many people that do this and do it better than me and have better collections, and yet you're here, or some of you are here, and some of you come back regularly, and that's mind-blowing. And thank you so much for doing that. It's really appreciated, because when I started doing this, it was just for me, to be honest with you. I just wanted somewhere where I could go and just talk shit about records, and it was just for me, and it didn't matter. And the last thing I sort of thought would happen would be people actually watching them, so that, you know, it's a bit of a mind blower, and it still is, to be honest with you, to this day, that people, you know, watch these videos or subscribe. So honestly, heartfelt thanks to everybody who's done it, and thank you to everyone who've interacted with. I have a lot of favourite channels. I don't want to list everybody because I don't want anyone feeling left out, and I don't like favourites. But like I said before, if I've interacted with you or I've spoken to you, then I think you can assume that you're one of my faves. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you. And this is, like I say, just a little quick video. I wanted to talk about a year on the VC and show some records, obviously, because that's what we do, but I'll come to that in a minute. Obviously, we're talking about comments as well. It's great that people are commenting. I have had a handful of troll comments, which I'm going to go through now, because I don't really... I've been lucky because I've not had many, but, you know, it's strange the sort of things that people put. I mean, I've got ones like Jimmy Goodwin's AI. Never really got that one. I don't even look like Jimmy Goodwin. Jimmy Goodwin doesn't wear glasses, so yeah, I don't know where that's come from. This one was off one of my latest videos. What a numpty. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I am a numpty, and take a bit of pride in it, to be honest with you. But I'd counter that by saying, who's the bigger numpty, the numpty or the numpty that watches the numpty? So that's pretty zen, that, isn't it? That's pretty zen. But yeah, you know. This one here. Why are you wasting your time on this when you've promised me for the last 2 years you would decorate the staircase? Oh, that's for my wife. Forget that one. And my favourite one is, your music comes from the closed mind of an Anglo-Saxon. Never really got that one, to be honest with you. And I've even Googled it, and I still didn't get it. It says, if you Google Anglo-Saxon, it says Germanic-speaking peoples who settled in Britain starting in the mid-5th century AD after the Romans left. They were primarily farmers who lived in wooden huts, though they excelled at creating intricate jewellery and metalwork. I mean, that's not me at all. I don't get that one. Although I'd love to speak German, to be honest with you, because I can only speak English. So perhaps that's where the criticism comes from. But yeah, I thought this was about music, not history. But yeah, if it's fair, it's fair. But, you know, it's a bit bizarre. But yeah, on the whole, I've only had positive comments, and, you know, the pattern always fits, doesn't it? Every time you get a comment like this, it's from people who don't make videos. Surprise, surprise. So I don't know. I don't really think I can take anyone's criticism seriously if they haven't had a pop at it themselves. So yeah, anyway, enough about them. So anyway, to commemorate my 1 year in the VC, I thought I'd do a small thread. Now, I've not done one of these before, and I'm a really small channel, so probably no one's going to take me up on this. And that's cool. That's fine. We've all got busy lives. We all work. We've all got interests and hobbies and partners and things. And we work all week, and then at the weekend we have to go crate digging because that's what we do. And, you have things like, your partner might say, oh, dearest, we've got your mum's ruby wedding party tonight, we've got to go out. And you're not going to turn around and say, hang on a minute, Midge's Vinyl Gems has asked me to pull out 5 albums and talk about them. I mean, you're not going to do that, are you? So if you don't do it, that's fine. I won't hold it against you, honestly. But what I thought was, some of you may have noticed, I'm quite a connoisseur of hats. I love hats. I've always loved hats. I wear them as often as possible. So I thought, to commemorate 1 year in the VC, that you might like to pull out 5 albums that have people wearing hats on them. And it's not, I'm going to expand it a little bit, so it's not just hats, it can be helmets, headgear, bonus points for wigs. If you can see any wigs on, that'd be amazing. But yeah, 5 albums where people are wearing hats on the cover. So for example, I pulled out LL Cool J's Walking with a Panther. He's sporting his Kangol there. He was, the leading light of Kangol wearers back in the day, as you can see. Love a Kangol. I've got one myself, all because of old LL. And yeah, this is his 1988, is it? 1989 album, Walking with a Panther. One of those albums that I really want somebody to reissue because back in the days, they were pressed on single vinyl. It's a really long album. There's about 16 tracks on it. And yeah, it's crying out for a double album reissue with all the tracks, because on the cassette version, it has 20 tracks. So please, somebody reissue this as a double with the bonus tracks on it. It's a great album. Obviously on the old school Def Jam label, distributed by CBS in the UK. Love old school hip hop, love all LL Cool J. So that's my first one with the old Kangol there. Next up, we've got Helden and Interface. As you can see, this is more of your headgear type arrangement. Great makeup on the alien there. And this is from 1977. The band was the brainchild of Richard Pinas, French musician, superb guitarist. And he sort of made electronic music and he sort of interspersed some very sort of soundscapey and ambient guitar lines through it. So it's a bit like Kraftwerk. It's a bit like Brian Eno and Robert Fripp's early collaborations, and it's absolutely superb. It's a sort of like instrumental soundscape that slowly build. Like I said, there's a lot of influences from Can and krautrock in general. This is a great album. Interface, that's the band there. So yeah, cool helmet there, as they say. Yeah, great album. Next up, we've got the one-off, a true one-off artist, Björk, and this is her 2004 album, Medulla. And as you can see, Björk is wearing a mask or some sort of helmet made of hair. She always has amazing outfits on her album covers. And this was the album she made that was primarily made with vocal parts. So you had things like Inuit tongue musicians and beatboxers, and Mike Patton's on here from Faith No More, as is Robert Wyatt, who has a very distinctive voice. So yeah, the whole album was primarily made by just using human vocals. It's a great album. It's a strange album in terms of, I think when this was issued, this is an OG pressing, it was issued as a 2LP set on 45 RPM and 33 RPM. I don't know if it was a lucky dip as to what you ended up with. This is the 45 RPM version, and it lists the side A, side B and side D tracks on it, but it doesn't. It's got the headers but no tracks, which is a bit unusual. That's another picture of the headgear. And yeah, it's a really interesting album. Like I said, this is cut at 45 RPM for some reason. But I don't know if it's ever been repressed. It probably has been repressed at some point, but I don't, I couldn't tell you that. But it's a great album. Bjork is one of those sort of trailblazing, pioneering artists. So work is sometimes not that easy to get into. It does take a bit of effort, but this is a great album. Very unusual, very distinctive, and great headgear. So again, right up my alley. This is a comedy album, comedy type of a comedy album. This is Napoleon the 14th, and they're coming to take me away. Ha ha! And as you can see, it's the brainchild of a man called Jerry Samuels, who was a songwriter, and he performed as Napoleon the 14th. And all the songs on here, as you can see, are to do with madness and mental illness and stuff. You probably wouldn't get away with it now, but yeah, lots of beats, lots of quite psychedelic, really, in places, really psychedelic, and yeah, it's worth a listen. It's like a comedy stroke. Well, it's a bit bizarre, to be honest. Album, like I say, all the songs are themed around madness. The actual song "They're Coming to Take Me Away," haha, was a one-off novelty hit in America in the 60s. I think it did get quite high up the charts. I think it was 66 maybe. But yeah, lots of great tracks on here, lots of great beats as well for sampling. You've got Bats in My Belfry, Dr. Psych, The Cut Rate Head Shrinker, I Live in a Split Level Head. I know exactly what that means. And yeah, there's some great tracks on here. Photogenic Schizophrenic You, I'm in Love with My Little Red Tricycle, and obviously an answer song at the end, I'm Happy They Took You Away, haha, by his wife. So yeah, this is a reissue on Rhino Records, Rhino label there, on a very strange sort of polythene in a bag that advertises lots of their other releases. But yeah, cracking hat there, Napoleon style hat. So yeah, they're coming to take me away, haha. Next up, an artist who is often seen wearing headgear of the unusual nature, and this is Dr. John. As you can see, he's got some sort of bizarre voodoo New Orleans type headdress on there. Love Dr. John, got lots of his albums, but I picked this one simply because it's quite an unusual album for him. It was made in, was it 98? Yeah, 98. Produced by John Leckie, who's produced loads of artists and indie acts over the years. And this came out, obviously, at the tail end of Britpop. And as such, it was just sort of a way of him sort of relaunching his career. So this album features so many artists of the Britpop era to help him make a bit of a comeback and perhaps re-establish his name in the 90s. So you've got people like Paul Weller on here. You've got Supergrass are on here. The full Supergrass band are on here. You've got Jay Spaceman of Spiritualize and his backing band. So you've got Thigh Paul Sandra. You've got who else have you got? Sean Cook, Damon Reese. You've got his touring band at the time on here as well. Jules Holland is on here, but they fortunately stopped him from doing any boogie woogie. You've got Matt Dayton on here from Paul Weller's band, Carleen Anderson, Steve White on drums, Damon Minchella from Ocean Colour Scene, Martin Duffy, who was in Primal Scream at the time. Yeah, loads of guest stars on here, all from sort of like the Britpop era. You've got Steve Mason from the Beta Band on here as well. So it's an album of two halves really as well, because the first half was all recorded in the UK at Abbey Road, excuse me, featuring all these musicians, and the other side was recorded in New York with more traditional American musicians that were Dr. John's backing band, all produced by John Leckie. Jason Pierce also co-produced a few tracks as well as playing on them. So there's a heavy spiritualized presence on here, and they are the better tracks, to be honest, quite sort of swampy, but there's a great sort of late night vibe along the whole of this album, to be honest with you. It is a really good album, but it's also, it's quite different from the fact that he tied in a lot of the Britpop artists of the time into it. That's him with another headscarf on. So headgear going strong for Dr. John. And yeah, underrated album, not often talked about now, but yeah, it was sort of like a way of him re-establishing his name in the 90s. And he did make a few more albums since then, before his death. So yeah, Dr. John, another zone, another admirer of great headwear. And lastly, a comedy album from 68, I think it is, and it's Marty Feldman's Marty. And look at that hat. That's a superb hat. Love Marty Feldman. This is a great comedy album. In fact, he's got some more. He's got a teacher's mortarboard there and a bishop's hat on there. This is Marty performing sketches and stuff from his TV series. So you've got John Junkin on here as well. You've got Tim Brooke Taylor and Marty. It's just some great sketches, quite surreal in places. You know, it's that sort of 60s sort of surreal comedy. He made a lot of great albums, Marty Feldman. I've got most of them, but yeah, some of them are like songs, some of them are taken from sketches of TV series, but absolutely great hat there. And yeah, that's my last choice. It's on the superb blue pie label. And yeah, Marty Feldman's Marty from 68. So yeah, that's my albums with hats on. I hope you'll come up with some of your own. Please tag me in if you do it and I'll have a look, and I can't wait to see what you come up with, but no pressure at all. And I'd just like to say thanks to everybody for a great first year in the VC, and I hope it continues, and I hope there's many more. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for encouragement, thanks for putting up with me, and thanks. So until the next video, thanks. See you later.